we've got the all-new Kia EV6.
It's all electric and it's a hotly anticipated car for 2022. Easy now, easy. Let's get into the specifics of this EV6. What's under the floor of this one?
We're driving the GT line all-wheel drive long-range model, and it has the most power, 320 horsepower and 446 pound-feet of torque. It gets 441 kilometers, 274 miles of EV range.
But like all electric vehicles, they're sold with different configurations. Rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, smaller and bigger batteries. You do that to get the starting price down. So what else is out there for the EV6?
The entry-level EV6 rear-wheel drive standard range comes with a 58 kilowatt-hour battery. It has 167 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. It has 373 kilometers and 232 miles of EV range.
The rear-wheel drive is also sold with a long-range, larger battery. It's 77.4 kilowatts. It has 225 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. It offers the most range at 499 kilometers or 310 miles. Andrea, what do you get with this EV6? What are the key standard features?
The base trim comes with dual panoramic 12.3-inch screens, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, heated front seats, dual zone automatic climate control, cloth and leatherette seats, a power driver seat, smart key with push button start, LED headlights and LED taillights, 19-inch wheels, a tire kit, and Kia Connect. But then there are packages on this GT line. There's package 1 and package 2. We've got the top package 2 trim.
Of course we do.
In Yacht Blue. In the US, you have a GT line all-wheel drive model and a GT line rear-wheel drive model.
By the way, there is going to be a more performance-oriented version of this called the GT, right?
EGT.
EGT.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have any specifics on that. That hasn't been released. The range, the power, the price, all of that's still to come.
And it should be arriving towards the end of this year.
Now, the reason why they do package 1 and package 2 in Canada, because of federal EV rebates and provincial rebates as well, the starting price of a vehicle has to be under $55,000,
That's right.
So what they do is they put the starting price under $55,000, then they jam in a package to jack the price up.
Yeah.
We're in the jacked up one.
Yeah, this one is just under $62,000 Canadian.
I think you're going to see a theme here with me griping about I'm still waiting for the affordable electric car because this ain't it.
Yeah, and the thing about these top models is that that's where all those extra features that we all like and want. So you got to pay the big bucks.
This video is brought to you by Canada Drives. Shop online for your next used vehicle and enjoy the convenience of to-your-door delivery and the confidence of a 7-day love it or return it guarantee. Visit canadadrives.ca to learn more. So you have to stay tuned for After Questions Coffee and Cars. We have our hot topic. And somebody has a good question about how is this the same or different than the Ioniq 5 stablemate from Hyundai. So that's coming up a little bit later in the video. But let's get into handling and how it feels.
I really like how this EV6 handles. It really has a sporty feel to it. Pop it in sport mode and everything just firms up. Even the steering gets a little bit heavier. Of course, it has that quick acceleration that you would expect from an electric vehicle.
So if you ask somebody how does electric car drive, they all drive the same.
Yeah.
They have a low center of gravity, the battery's on the floor obviously.
Yeah.
They've got lots of torque, that's a common feature of electric cars. But this one and a lot of the other ones we're going to compare coming up in Questions, Coffee and Cars actually have a very low ground clearance, so it sits to the ground. In my opinion, this is more of a car than an SUV. And it drives like that.
Yeah, and compared to something like the Model Y, which has quite a firm suspension, this suspension is softer, but I still think it has a sportier drive to it than the Ioniq 5.
Yeah, I think that's because of the lower kind of profile of the
Yeah.
roof. But that's a real strong point for both models. A little sneak preview of the Ioniq and this is that the suspension calibration they've done on these vehicles is fantastic. It eats up bumps. It isn't harsh, but it gives you good feedback. Especially with a heavy battery, they've done a good job.
Really good job.
This EV6 has adjustable regen braking. You use the paddle shifters behind the steering for more or less regen. You can even achieve one pedal driving. However, in our experience, coming to a full stop, you need to use the left paddle shifter, pull it towards the driver to come to a complete stop. Now, from some angles, I like the look of this thing. I'm not
Okay.
sold on it from the back. It's got a funky look to the back. I'm not sure. What do you think of it?
I think this is my favorite EV by far now. The exterior look is sporty yet a little bit futuristic. Hey, I'm a big fan of the Ioniq 5, but I just feel like this is more my style.
I still hold that this is a car. The lower roof, the very long wheelbase. It's actually got a longer wheelbase than the Telluride. It reminds me a lot of the Jaguar I-Pace electric car that nobody bought. I think there's some similarities.
I really like the clamshell hood on this, the flush door handles.
I hate them.
The only problem with them is the way that they pull out, but I think if they pulled out like the EQS does, where you just grab them and pull them out, they're very solid. This is not the case.
Why?
I don't know.
Audi does electric cars with regular door handles.
Yeah.
Why can't other manufacturers? Oh, the air, come on, just give us a good door handle.
Yeah.
This is the answer to the question nobody was asking. I'm not asking for this.
I think if it was the EQS door handle, I am with that. I think that they're very solid.
Didn't love that one either.
There are some differences to the exterior between the standard model and the GT line. You have a different front and rear bumper. The side moldings are in black on the GT model, and the wheel arches are in the body color of the vehicle, whereas the standard model has black wheel arches.
Now let's turn our attention to the inside. When we got the Ioniq 5, we were very impressed with the interior. Up to that point, that was my favorite EV interior. Yeah. Now this one is.
I know, it's got the 12.3-inch touchscreen and the digital driver display, and it's kind of curved. I think it sits nicely on the dash. It's got some nice features in here, lots of different textured materials. You can see the dash, it's got a really nice design, and then there's some piano black and brushed aluminum here. The center console is really well organized, and it has a bit of a cockpit type feel to the interior.
So the best thing about this, is you get in, and there are real keys to put on your heated seats, your ventilated seats, the heated steering wheel. They're all right there in the center console. The shifter is better than the Ioniq 5. Sure, it's a rotary dial. It's not our favorite, but it's better than the push button. But the hotkeys for that, and we were trying to figure out how do you get the volume knob? Where's the volume knob? This row of controls below the vents switches between the HVAC system and then all of these other functions like map, nap, radio. I love this.
It is a wonderful idea, and more manufacturers should get behind this.
Give me buttons.
And the sunroof opens. We have got a moonroof in here that actually opens up. This is only available on the top trim. Now, what about a heat pump? Well, you can get a heat pump, but it's one up from the base model in Canada and on the all-wheel drive long range model in the US.
You know what? Still waiting for the affordable EV. This ain't it. Andrea always picks her best value trim. What is it this time?
Well, I think as long as you go up one from the base model to get that heat pump, a wireless charger, driver's seat memory, and of course the heated steering wheel in Canada. In the US, on that trim, just one up from the base model, you get heated and ventilated front seats and the onboard power generator, the V2L, which we don't get until our top trim. The top trim that we're test driving has things like the power sunroof, the auto flush door handles, the Meridian audio system, and the V2L, the vehicle to load, leatherette seats with the suede inserts, ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, and then a cargo privacy cover.
And the back seat, man, you want legroom. This is it. It's got a huge amount of legroom.
Yeah, the Model Y offers the most second row legroom, followed by the Ioniq 5, and the EV6 is in third. You'll be able to fit car seats back there, no problem, but you might find loading kids and car seats with the low roofline to be a bit of a challenge.
Now, carry on in a cooler, no problem at all. What do you think of the size in comparison to other vehicles?
It offers plenty of space. It's not a problem, but it is the smallest amongst its competitors for overall cargo space and space behind the second row.
All right, some good questions. Let's get into them. Coffee break.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
This car is marketed as an SUV by Kia. Is this class of EVs, including the Ioniq 5 and Mach-E, really SUVs? They seem more like big station wagons, but not quite the right height, ground clearance, or cabin space headroom associated with a compact SUV like a Tucson or CX-5.
I agree.
Yeah, you are bang on. But crossovers are so popular that I think if you market it as a crossover, it will sell.
Well, what is a crossover? A crossover is half man, half woman. It's half car, half utility. That's exactly what it is. They've basically tried to merge two things.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we've got here. Drives like a car, has a lot of features of a car, but has some utility to it.
It does. And you're right about the ground clearance. The Ioniq 5, as well as this EV6, offers 6.1 inches of ground clearance. The Mach-E has the least with 5.7, the ID4 at 6.7, and the Model Y has 6.6 inches of ground clearance, which is also quite low.
This really feels like a car to me. It's the roof line is really quite low.
Yeah.
Here I am. I'm 6 feet tall. I have a long torso though. Torso of a giant. Little haggis legs.
Oh gosh.
And I'm right here. I'm right here. Hello.
Their dash design continues to baffle me. How is that not going to blind the driver against the low sun? Can you please try that during one of your test drives?
Oh, wait a second. We need a sunny day in Vancouver in the winter. That's rare.
It is rare, but we've had good weather this year. I don't think we can complain.
No,
but you're right. There is some glare for sure. There's some brushed aluminum here, and then underneath is where most of the piano black is.
I'm changing the name. I've officially changed the name. It's no longer piano black. It's called black plastic.
Yeah.
I'm stopping calling it piano
High
black.
gloss black plastic?
Just high gloss black plastic. I'll go with that.
Okay, so the brushed aluminum, and then you've got the piano black below. I actually find the brushed aluminum glare worse in the sun than the piano black, but it's manageable. It's not bad at all.
We drive so many cars with the hard, shiny plastic.
Yeah.
I'm used to it.
We put out a lot of content each week on the Motormouth YouTube channel, and it's so easy to find.
All you do is go to the YouTube search bar. First, you type in the name of the channel, Motormouth, then the brand you're looking for. In this case, it's Kia, and then all of our videos and comparisons pop up. It's that easy.
How is the rear visibility? It seems like the trunk line is quite high. It is a little bit higher, but we don't really find the visibility that bad. I think it's quite good. The window is a little bit small.
What's missing, Andrea?
The rear window wiper, same as the Ioniq 5. Kia didn't put one in either.
So after the launch event that we went to in California, where it was pouring rain, the Canadians mostly complained, and justifiably with sloppy, slushy weather in the winter, that there's no rear wiper. And Hyundai sent that all the way back to Korea, and they went noted.
Yeah.
So we feel that there's going to be a change probably for the next model year to add it.
Yeah.
We hope Kia does the same thing and sends a note back to head office and says we need a rear wiper, because I think it would be welcome.
And also the Tucson has one that is hidden, and I think that they could do the same thing here and keep it really fresh and streamlined in that rear end.
Nice streamlined rear end, Andrea. Good idea.
Yep.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
I'm curious regarding the functional difference between this and the Ioniq 5. What features does this have that the Ioniq 5 does not, and vice versa?
Well, the biggest difference for me is the roof line is a lot lower compared to the Ioniq 5.
Yeah, not as open at all. On the Ioniq 5, the optional reclining seat with ottoman is not available on this EV6. Also, the EV6 center console does not slide back and forth, but it offers lots of storage underneath.
But on top of it, it has one major thing. We talked about it already.
Yep.
The hotkeys for the heated seat and heated steering wheel. Thank you, Kia.
And also, you can switch back and forth from HVAC climate controls to the infotainment. So I think that that is just wonderful that Kia came up with that. And also, when you put the seat here all the way down to the last setting, if you're a tall person, because of the headroom here, when you are sitting in the back, you can't slide your feet under the front seat in front of you.
By the way, we're going to do a full comparison between the Ioniq 5 and the EV6. If this is the first couple of days this video drops, it won't be out yet, but if it's already dropped, the card is here.
There's a lot of SUV-style EVs that have come out in the last year. Let's see what else you can buy.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
The Ioniq 5 has rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options and offers up to 320 horsepower and up to 488 kilometers, 303 miles of EV range. It ranges in price from just under $45,000 Canadian right up to just under $60,000.
The Volkswagen ID4 with rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive up to 400 kilometers or 260 miles of EV range. It has up to 302 horsepower and ranges in price from just under $45,000 up to $58,000.
The Ford Mustang Mach-E with up to 475 kilometers of EV range and up to 346 horsepower. It has a starting price of just over $50,000 and goes all the way up to almost $83,000 for the GT model.
Here's our used car alternative from CanadaDrives.ca. We chose a 2021 Tesla Model Y standard range with 16,500 kilometers for $84,990. Click on the tab or the link in the description below to find more vehicles in this category from CanadaDrives.ca.
So there are 4 electric vehicles for you to consider.
Oh my goodness, Andrea, when you buy an electric car, it's like a spreadsheet. You got to figure out the onboard charging, the charging time, the size of the battery, the range, and of course the price. So let's get into it with our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. The rear-wheel drive standard range starts at just under $45,000 in Canada and just under $41,000 US. And the top all-wheel drive long range GT line, package 2, starts at just under $62,000 Canadian, and the all-wheel drive GT line in the US is just under $56,000. All the other trims and prices are listed on the screen for you to view. The EV6 has a 10.9 kilowatt onboard charger and is compatible with 400 volt and 800 volt charging stations. 800 volt DC fast charging can supply nearly 100 kilometers, 62 miles of range in less than 5 minutes and can be charged from 10 to 80% in under 18 minutes. With a level 2 outlet, the long range model completes a full charge from 10 to 100% in 7 hours and 10 minutes and standard range in 5 hours and 50 minutes.
The vehicle to load function is a charger on wheels. The plug for this feature is inside the car. However, you can get an adapter for your plug that allows this V to L function to be accessed on all EV6 models.
In the US, the EV6 comes with 1,000 kilowatt hour of charging credits on the Electrify America network. Unfortunately, Kia Canada does not currently have a charging credit program. The EV6 qualifies for the federal EV rebate in Canada of $5,000, and there are provincial rebates available in participating provinces. In the US, the EV6 qualifies for a tax credit up to $7,500.
The long range model is rated to tow 2,300 pounds. There is no tow rating for the standard range model. The warranty is 5 years, 100,000 kilometers, or 60,000 miles. Lightning round. Two things we like to see improved.
I really like the sporty drive.
And I love the buttons.
I really wish there was the option of wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in here.
Give me regular door handles. I'm a simple guy.
Sporty, sleek, and quite fun to drive for an electric vehicle.
Still waiting for an affordable EV. Still waiting.
This video is brought to you by Canada Drives. Shop online for your next used vehicle and enjoy the convenience of to-your-door delivery and the confidence of a 7-day love it or return it guarantee. Visit CanadaDrives.ca to learn more.